Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. And welcome to the First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Antonio. My name is Diane Carl. I've been with the church for 15 years. I've helped in various youth, religious education activities, and now I serve with the CREF board, the Community Responsibility Endowment Fund. You'll hear more about that as we go along. Let's begin by acknowledging this geographic place where we are currently located. Yanaguana, the home of the traditional lands of the Coahuiltecan, the original and indigenous stewards of this land to which we all belong, now called San Antonio, Bexar County, and Texas. At our church, we strive to enact a universal love that binds us in mutual care and affection, especially in our actions for justice, for all, and for our planet. Our faith is all-inclusive, and all means all. If you are new to us and visiting for the first time today, we welcome you to fill out a yellow visitor's card. We'd like to get to know you and follow up with you. Wherever you are in your life's journey, we hope you'll find a place with us.
Thank you, Diane, and thank you all for being here. It's great to see people gathered together in person to enjoy the experience of shared time and shared purpose. Throughout the month of October, we've been examining and celebrating the topic of courage. And what we've begun to learn is that when we are real, direct, and open, we access our courage. And being courageous is about living from our heart, inspired to act with integrity and in the pursuit of justice. And that's what we aspire to here at First UU San Antonio, to co-create the capacity to channel the support of others into positive outcomes for the greater whole. For 40 years, our Community Responsibility Endowment Fund has produced annually a process for identifying and contributing funding from our church to a handful of nonprofit organizations that are transforming our greater community. Now, as Unitarian Universalists, we define worship as considering matters of worth. When we consider matters of worth, we are worshiping. So today, let's celebrate matters of worth that are reflected in the courageous missions and projects of our awardee organizations. Now, to begin, I invite us all to reach out and greet your neighbor, someone you know, someone you don't know. Let's pass the peace. Well, if we can do that, we might be able to rise in body or spirit and sing together. So I invite you to turn in your gray hymnals, you'll find them around you somewhere under the seat, behind the seat, to number 119. And let's rise in body or spirit and sing Once to Every Soul and Nation. I think it's only 2 verses, is that right, Jaime? So let's sing with all our hearts. Thank you, and please be seated. I see a number of you rolling your eyes and thinking, did I actually just sing that? Did this congregation actually do all those ha 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 ha? And what lyrics, too. That's a fantastic. Thank you, Susan, our music director, for stretching us a little bit today. It's time for our chalice lighting, and we'll have Tracey Knouse, one of our CREF trustees, come forward. Get a microphone.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tracey Knouse, whichever. I'm currently on the board of the Community Responsibility Endowment Board. I've been a member since 1997. Previously, I've been a religious education teacher for quite a few years. Then I was chair of business ops, and now I'm a greeter once a month, too. So, thank you. The flaming chalice unites our congregation in worship and symbolizes the spirit of our faith. Our words today come from Tanya Marquez and Lindsay Bates. It is now that we are called as witnesses of the world, not to hide, not to fear, but to be bold and loud. We face the world's shadows with our chalice of light.
Thank you, Tracey. And after all those years, Tracey lights the chalice for the first time. Thank you so much for having the courage. We are called as Unitarian Universalists to build the beloved community where all are welcomed as blessings. May we strive to share grace and forgiveness with ourselves and each other in the hope of becoming whole and reconciled. Each week, we affirm this commitment to live and behave as a community who can agree about things and hold those agreements as covenants. And we know this takes a lot of work, and we have to constantly remind ourselves of how we fail and we get right back up and keep on doing it again. And so we're going to recite some words that articulate our promises and bind us together in community, and we'll do them in English and in Spanish, as is appropriate to living in the country's largest Hispanic majority city. The words can be found in your order of service, and they'll soon be up on the screen here. So turn in your program, and let's say it first in English. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other. El amor es la doctrina de esta iglesia. Tu sacramento es la búsqueda de la verdad. Y su oración es el servicio. Convivir en paz. Buscar sabiduría en libertad. Dar a la humanidad nuestro servicio fraternal, para que todas las almas crezcan en armonía con la divinidad. Así pactamos el uno con el otro. And some of you native Spanish speakers may wonder about where we got that translation. I'll be making an announcement in a little while about a special meeting of people who do want to help us speak Spanish more poetically, appropriately, and correctly. But meanwhile, it's time for our choir. Short and sweet, except for Jaime. How many notes did you play there? Hundreds. Thank you. Every week, we remind ourselves of our joys, our concerns, and our sorrows. And that time has come upon us today. So I want us to reflect for a moment, remembering that ours is a welcoming community that connects us, a spiritual community that enlivens us, a sharing community in which our joys are amplified and our sorrows and concerns are held in kindness and compassion. May we listen more deeply, see each other more clearly, and grow closer to each other each time we gather. So I want to invite everyone to mindfully come forward down the side aisles to our stations here that are being managed by Beth and Tim. to light a candle and then return to your seat in a path that suits you. Come forward with your joys, your sorrows, your concerns, and light a candle. In our book of joys and sorrows, we read, "Joyful that the move is complete. Now just have to unpack." Lots of courage there. Wishing Octavia Danweber a happy 12th birthday. She is doing great as a 6th grader at Young Women's Leadership Academy. Wow. Where she made the honor roll the first quarter, and looking forward to more great things in her next dance around the sun. Keep dancing, Octavia. We're with you. Proud parents, too, and brothers. And thankful for the opportunity for input regarding our Spanish language usage in our Sunday service. And by the way, a small group is meeting right after today's service in room 402, down at the end of the courtyard. Please join with me in a moment of prayerful reflection. However that is, that suits you. Dimming your gaze, looking around, holding your hands to your chest. Take a deep cleansing breath and release it and keep breathing. Breathe into this very moment. Let's be mindful that this community is a place where we can bring all our joys, our concerns and sorrows, both spoken and unspoken. Our culture often tells us a narrow and simplistic history filled with stories that sustain the notion that ordinary people are powerless to make changes unless they're saved by some kind of exceptional bravery. The truth is, outside of historic and heroic fiction, such people are rare and even non-existent. The vast majority of trailblazers were actually traveling through places where tribal people already lived, acquiring both survival advice and local directions, rather than subduing the untamed wilderness. We're still surrounded by such a crowd of witnesses who have and are overcoming difficult challenges. And these people don't do it magically or on their own. They do it with lots of support from others and sufficient time to pull through, heal, and rally, even though many don't ever fully recover. This is a prayer about that kind of courage, and that we may be those kinds of courageous people. And in the spirit of this prayer, I invite us all to move forward together. May it be so. Now, every year, I love facilitating as much as I can as minister this presentation, which we are about ready to commence. And it's a pretty long one. So I want to share with our children that we love you, we need you, and we want to let you go by holding you with an open hand, that you may go and play and share time with yourselves and your adult sponsors. Or if you wish, you may remain in here with your families and hear this presentation. We're going to sing you forward, and I'm going to ask Jaime, who is one of the writers of this song, to sing it and accompany it to us because it's new. And It's going to be in your order of service. Jaime, how do we do this?
So I'll do this twice. I'll do the English version and the Spanish version by myself, and then we'll all join in together in that same order, the English version and the Spanish version. Mm-hmm. May the road you travel guide you safely. May a friend be always at your side. May the love you find here in this moment guide your way and fill you with delight. Que tu camino te guíe bien seguro, que un amigo se queda a tu lado. Que el amor que encuentras en este momento te guía y te llena con placer.
Something new, something fun, something for our children. Well, Diane and trustees of CREF, please come forward. This microphone is yours.
And we invite the 4 awardees to come up as well.
Good morning. My name is Bill Bush. I've been a member of this congregation since 2009. Currently, I serve as an at-large member of CREF, the Community Responsibility Endowment Fund. I'm a past chair of CREF. I'm a former YRUU advisor. And I wrote the history book of the church. Yeah. On behalf of the CREF Board of Trustees, I'm excited to announce, and we are excited to announce our grant awards for this year. CREF, as many of you know, stands for Community Responsibility Endowment Fund. Nominations from church members are taken in the spring, and application review is at the end of the summer. To qualify, the organization must be a nonprofit. The organization and the project under consideration must reflect our values, the values of this church, and be located and focused on the San Antonio metro area. The project must be for charitable, religious, educational, or scientific purposes. So this year marks the 40th anniversary of CREF. Bear with me for a moment. CREF began in 1982 in the wake of a Flower Power fundraising campaign that seeded the fund with an endowment of $10,000. CREF arose out of a strong desire in the church at that time to support community organizations whose work aligned with UU values. Since 1988, CREF has given away 142 individual grant awards, totaling just over $172,000. You can clap. In 1988, the average individual award was about $350. Over the last 10 years, our average award has been just short of $3,000. The endowment has grown, obviously, over the years through donations given by this congregation, by all of you, and careful management of the endowment's investments. Your gifts are crucial to continue this unique way that we express our UU values in the San Antonio community. So now I'd like to actually introduce the organizations. And our organizations are Act for SA, Empower House San Antonio, Planned Parenthood of South Texas, and the League of Women Voters of San Antonio. And so the format that we're going to follow here today is that some of my colleagues on CREF, we're going to take turns giving individual testimony about what moves us about being involved with CREF. Why do we do this work? And the first person who's going to speak is our CREF board chair, Diane Carl.
Okay, so Mark, you're really good at all of the order of things, and we're learning. So, hello again, Diane. I am the last 2 years been the CREF chair, and it's been an honor. I've been with CREF 4 years. And Mark has challenged all of the trustees to really think about what we cannot unsee, and to talk about, with that theme, our own experience and what moves us. So in between the awards, in between each award, we'll all make a little statement, either about one of the particular organizations or about our own experience. So when taking action, people give their time, talent, and treasures. A lot of us have heard that in the nonprofit world. I cannot unsee the endless needs in our local community to help others live better lives so that we can all live better lives. I cannot unsee the talented people who are always thinking of creative ways to help others. Another organization in town gives 5 $100,000 grants each year, completely volunteer run. I've seen the life-changing effect that money like that and an award like that brings to the life of the recipients and to the life of the organization itself. It just transforms it. I realized CREF operates exactly the same way, but we give $1,000 to $5,000 awards for small projects. I've enjoyed being a part of this team that makes micro impacts and has a ripple effect. I cannot unsee the difference our funds can make for a startup nonprofit or for a 100-year-old organization with small project ideas based on a desperate need. I see the time put in, the talent shared with others, and I see treasures used in positive ways that make a difference. And that's why I love being part of the CREF team. Thanks.
Okay, and now we're going to have our next trustee testimony, and it's going to be Tracey Knouse.
Hi again. So I've served on the CREF board for several years now. This is the second year that I've been part of this service and helped plan it. I'm just going to share that my personal mantra in life is to make a positive difference in the world. And I feel that CREF does that in so many ways. The impact is, immediate. I'm glad to serve on the board and to be a part of making a difference in our community. These grants go to such deserving organizations, and I'm proud to be serving for you.
Thank you, Tracey. And now I'd like to ask our first awardee to come forward, and that is Act for SA. Act for SA is the first local grassroots organization focusing solely on police reform and criminal justice advocacy. And I should add, Act for SA was nominated for a CREF Award by the Racial Justice Black Lives Matter group here at the church. They are composed of former organizers and volunteers of the Prop B initiative, a community-led ballot measure which fell only 2 percentage points short in San Antonio's municipal elections in May 2021. I was actually just talking about this with Rico back there, and he was, hello Rico, and we were talking about how at the time they were sort of being advised not to do it because it wasn't going to succeed. And we were talking about, well, that's not a reason not to do it, right? If it's right, you have to start it, right? So that is what they did. This proposition would have removed the San Antonio Police Officers Association contract to allow a new one to be created with community input that removes the many disciplinary barriers that currently exist in the contract. Continuing the fight that began with the Prop B initiative, one of Act for SA's goals is to set limits on how and when an officer is investigated for misconduct and ending restricted access to discipline records, as these are significant barriers to accountability for police officers in San Antonio. Act for SA is a Black woman-led organization founded in July 2021 with diverse representation on its board, 150 regular volunteers, a full-time advocacy director, a part-time development manager, and our founder, executive director, Ananda Thomas. Ananda has a background in electoral campaigns and community organizing. A grant award of $1,600 goes to Act for SA to help with the costs of educational workshops surrounding abolition, defunding, and conflict resolution without the police, and anti-Blackness and racism in our community, including within the BIPOC communities. They are planning on 30 to 50 people at each workshop, totaling an estimate of 200 to 300 unique individuals being trained and informed. Act for SA empowers the San Antonio community through year-round base building, grassroots actions, and educational campaigns to achieve the accountable, compassionate, and transparent public safety system we all deserve. Accepting the award certificate today is founder and executive director, Ananda Thomas. Congratulations.
Thank you guys. Thank you all.
Now the next trustee testimony will be given by me. What I can't unsee. I can't unsee the nation's shameful history of excluding children and youth from the modern protections of childhood due to the color of their skin, due to their sexual or gender identity, due to their national origin. One of our recipients in Powerhouse is on the front lines of redressing these wrongs by serving young Black and Latinx women and girls in the areas of health, reproductive justice, and restorative justice. I am incredibly proud to be involved with a grant award to such a worthy organization that is engaged with this critically important work. And now, we are going to go ahead and present the CREF Award to Empower House. Empower House was nominated by Reverend Mark Skrabacz. Empower House San Antonio, formerly the Martinez Street Women's Center, has a 22-year history of providing transformative community health services, youth development programs, and advocacy opportunities that empower women and girls of color. In 2021, the organization was rebranded as Empower House to better reflect the direction of their organization and the values they hold. Their values of solidarity, creativity, empathy, and collaboration guide our major programmatic decisions and daily interactions with community members. CREF has granted $1,600 for Empower House's Empower Women and Empower Parents programs. Empower Women allows for skills building for women, including education regarding financial literacy and empowerment, self-care, and artistic expression. Empower Parents is an asset-based, evidence-based, positive parenting program that works with parents to learn techniques and tools that can be used to empower children and to raise children in healthy ways. They serve communities primarily on the east and west sides of San Antonio, traditionally disenfranchised but historically resilient areas still among the most racially and economically segregated. Through their programs, they increase access to essential healthcare services, wellness tools, skills, and support for transformative, community-wide change through our programming and events. Our long-term goals include their long-term goals, they're ours too, include reduction in harmful behaviors, child abuse and family violence, and an increase in familial health programs and improved health equity in San Antonio. Accepting the award certificate today is Executive Director Andrea Figueroa. Congratulations.
Thank you,
Correction, their award is actually $2,000. And now I'd like to introduce my colleague Ruth Castillo, who will give the next trustee testimony.
For those of you who don't know, there's a small stool down here. My name is Ruth, and the thing that I cannot unsee is the way that CREF reflects who we are and our values. Some of you may know that I am really big into reproductive justice and how that reflects on many aspects of our life. But what I didn't know coming into CREF is that I had the ability to not only amplify things that I value, but what you value. And so that endowment fund allows us to fund things like the San Antonio Black Independent Film Festival, help us fund projects like Empower House. We are able to amplify who you are inside and what you value, and together build that community and that interconnected web. So it is our next presentation.
I don't usually get to feel tall. Thank you, Ruth. Planned Parenthood of South Texas is our next award recipient. Nominated by Dr. Jan Riolini, the mission of Planned Parenthood South Texas is to provide and protect the health care and information people need to plan their families and their futures. Since 1939, Planned Parenthood South Texas, an accredited affiliate of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, has been empowering women and men to have children only when they are financially, physically, and emotionally ready to do so. Birth control continues to be their most accessed service. Beginning on September 1st, Planned Parenthood South Texas has been providing emergency contraception to the community at no cost. Emergency contraception, also known as the morning after pill, helps prevent pregnancy if taken up to 3 days after unprotected sex. With the Supreme Court's recent decision that overturned Roe v. Wade, abortion is now illegal in Texas, and not every person who needs abortion care is able to travel out of state to obtain it. Preventing unintended pregnancy has never been more important. Last year, nearly 2,000 patients at 5 San Antonio health centers received emergency contraception. Planned Parenthood expects at least 2,500 patients to access emergency contraception this year. The acquisition cost for emergency contraception is $10 per pill. CREF has awarded $2,500 to Planned Parenthood of South Texas to cover more than a month's worth of emergency contraception acquisition costs, allowing 250 people to receive this at no cost to them. Reducing unintended pregnancy is especially important now that Texas has criminalized abortion. The state's cruel anti-reproductive justice laws disproportionately impact low-income people of color. Planned Parenthood of South Texas is committed to fighting for health equity, which requires expanding access to reproductive health care for communities impacted by health disparities. Accepting the award certificate today is President and CEO Laura Terrell. Congratulations. And for our next trustee testimony, I'd like to invite Gail Reinhardt to the podium.
What I can't unsee is how much time, effort, and dedication our congregation gives to the things which are our congregational values outside of their participation in this congregation. And this is my second year on the CREF board, and it's always interesting to see the organizations out there and how they are contributing in some way to the values of our church. And in particular, I think the activities of CREF are a further, a further way of promoting our core belief that service is our prayer as members of this church. And so while this money does not come out of your pledge funds, this has been collected and continues to be collected separately, but I think it represents a very valuable way that we are promoting our congregational values. In particular, Planned Parenthood supports the work that we support as a reproductive justice congregation. And the League of Women Voters, by promoting in a nonpartisan way participation of people in our democracy, again, serves our core values. And in particular, their role as well in reaching out to perhaps underserved voters and convincing them that it is a good time to stand up for their own rights through the ballot box. Because we cannot unsee, any of us, some of the things happening in Texas politics, and we may not be successful right away in making things better, but by golly, we're going to try. So.
Thank you, Gail. Our final recipient, and I'd like to invite them up to the podium, is League of Women Voters of San Antonio, nominated by Arliss Olson. The League of Women Voters of the San Antonio area envisions a democracy where every person has the desire, the right, the knowledge, and the confidence to participate in our democracy. As a nonpartisan organization, they encourage informed and active participation of citizens in government. They work to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and they influence public policy through education and advocacy. The League of Women Voters is a grassroots, all-volunteer organization that has fought since 1920 to improve government and engage every voter in the decisions that impact their lives. Formed from the movement that secured the right to vote for women, the centerpiece of the League's effort remains to expand civic participation and give a voice to all Americans through broad educational efforts and advocacy. The CREF Grant Award of $3,600 goes towards two projects. First, funding the printing of I Promise to Vote cards. These cards will be used in voter outreach throughout the fall to encourage voters to make the commitment to vote in this November's election. The groups that the effort will focus on include new U.S. citizens and other marginalized groups such as low-income, low-voter turnout groups and young voters. The second project is for the Spanish translation of newly designed and edited voter education materials to make these materials accessible to a broader population of voters in San Antonio. While focused on materials for the upcoming election, the translations would serve the League in outreach efforts beyond 2022. Their Community Outreach Committee is dedicated to assisting voters not only in preparing to vote, but also making a plan to vote, either by mail, during early voting, or on Election Day. The League's I Promise to Vote card will include elements that encourage the voter to actually make plans to vote, including identifying conveniently located polling locations. Accepting the award certificate today with the Community Outreach Committee is Mary Deerolf. Congratulations. So I just want to say one more thing. This is the fourth time I've done this award ceremony, and I'm always sort of caught off guard by how emotional it is. And I think the reason it hits me, and I think it hits my colleagues so hard, is the concerns, the issues that we are supporting here are things that many of us have devoted our working lives to outside of the church. So it feels fantastic to be able to give even these small grants on behalf of these efforts. And I know many of you feel the same way and have also devoted your working lives to these issues. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay, so I want to now just thank the trustees for all their hard work in the last year. Our year starts, June. We have 3-year terms, and I hope you all will consider next April, May, saying, I want to be a CREF trustee. Sometimes some of us roll off, or even other obligations come up and cannot complete the year. But like right now, we have a full staff, we have 6 of us, but we welcome more, and it certainly is something that's very heartfelt. I've heard it said, I want to be on CREF because that's an easy committee. Okay, so it is for parts of the year, and other parts it takes a lot of either hands-on or just orchestrating what it takes to get all the applications out, to get the review process done. The nominations are in February. Any church member can nominate, and we do try to promote that at that time, but in February through June. And then we send those nominations who qualify as a 501(c)(3), we send them out an application. So there's so many ways you can participate, but you can be a CREF trustee for sure. And so we have, of course, today, Bill and Ruth and Gail and Tracey, and Asma Khan could not be here today with us.
So, to learn more about CREF, we encourage you to discover more about all our worthy awardee organizations. Here's a list of websites, if you have a moment to jot them down, and we'll make the slides available, right? Okay. The trustees are happy to provide this information to you, and please chat with our honor representatives. After the service, we are going to have a patio reception with cake, I believe, or cupcakes. You'll have a chance to meet and talk with representatives of our organizations. I encourage you to do that.
Okay. And so, ways to give. We love to at least explain how you can give today by writing a check and putting CREF on the for line, of course, and online. Find the online link, and you can put CREF in for the purpose there as well. A check anytime, all throughout the year. We used to have October as a harvest month, and so we kind of now have taken over a service day. So it's this one incredible day, but it really is all year long. We can take your donations that really do go towards great things. And before I do like just a final thank you for everything and move on, because I just love standing up here now, just kidding. I did want to explain that the donations that you give go into the principal, and that grows, and then we give, every year we have to look at the interest and dividends. And so last year was our biggest year ever, 17,000 we gave away, but this year it's not quite so much. But we felt like what we did, instead of giving 6 awards, we gave 4 awards of the same quality. So that's part of the decisions that we make there. I went back and, okay, if you're not into statistics, just kind of zone out, look at the flowers or the candles or something. But I kind of am. And Bill already mentioned that the total lifetime amount for the 40 years, it's our 40th anniversary. By the way, it's TPR's 40th year too. A total lifetime award amount is $172,000, but you can just see how it just kind of grew over the years. And the last 10 years, 114,000 given. So it has, that's what happens with an endowment fund. It grows, and then we can grow. The last 10 years, average per year, 11,485. So in the beginning, it was a couple thousand, and now we're there. And so, and I need to move. You can take over because I'm going over. Okay, that's good.
Let's thank everybody.
More on the patio.
Yeah, let's thank everyone. Yeah.
Okay, you didn't want all my things.
No, well, I don't need to say anything about our invitation to generosity, but I am going to invite Brian to come forward and sing while the ushers bring the baskets forward. And as you know, you may donate online or you may donate in the baskets. You may always indicate in your donation that the donation goes to CREF. Today, everything that we collect in here, unless it's earmarked for something else, will go to CREF. So thank you all. Thank you, CREF trustees. Thank you, Diane, for your hardworking and organized leadership. And all of our awardees, we're thrilled. Let's talk on the patio after the service.
Climb every mountain, search high and low, follow every byway, every path you know. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream. A dream that will need all the love you can give. Every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your dream. A dream that will need all the love you can give. Every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, your dream.
punctuation mark. We bless these offerings we've received. May we live in the true spirit of our First UU tradition in supporting our Community Responsibility Endowment Fund to be significantly more generous in our greater community. May our blessings be multiplied through our sharing of them. May it be so. Hey, hey. Jaime, let's do one verse of our closing hymn, 1017 in your teal hymnal. There's a little paperback model underneath there. 1017. Rise in body or spirit. Let's do verse 1. Stronger every day. We are building a new way. We extinguish our chalice with these thoughts that the CREF Trustees have done something wonderful on our behalf in identifying and awarding the money to our honored organizations doing so much in our community. Let us empower one another and go forth from here with strength and enjoy one another on the patio. Amen, and lots of women too.